Oh.
It's early, mate.
Might want to keep iron or cut it out, I don't know. Yeah, we're early.
We are early.
The hood's up, it's freezing in Garnidden.
Can't afford the heating in the
Can't
studio.
afford heating in the studio.
Need some more subscribers.
Yeah, we need a couple more subscribers. big week, Joey boy. Big weekend. Well, weekend, whatever you want to call it.
It's been wild, mate, isn't it? We unfortunately haven't had a chance to get here, but it's been.
Joe's been busy sweeping chimneys. He's a busy boy. But
yeah, I'm probably a different shade of colour at the minute, like just fucking set it up.
No,
but yeah,
it's been flat out, haven't it? There's been loads there's loads to cover. There's loads we've missed a little bit. Massive card on the weekend, obviously headlined by Leon Edwards, Colby, Covington. That in itself gives you plenty to talk about. You got Leon, arguably pound for pound one of the best top 5 any fighters in the world. Fighting everyone, the guy everyone loves to hate. I mean, I don't actually dislike Colby that much, I gotta be honest. I think he's quite funny and
when you know he's playing a game as well, isn't it? Because do you see the video with him? He was out at a pub or something and they brought something out to him on a plate, like which said
yeah.
Like you can see there how nice a guy he is, actually, genuinely.
And like what you gotta like respect with Colby is he is a savage. Like his cardio's insane, his wrestling's insane. Like you don't become a Division 1 wrestler just by being like some weak-minded guy with a gimmick. And what I see a lot of people do with Colby online is because they don't like his personality, dismiss his skills. I don't think skill-wise he's on Leon's level, I'll be honest with you. But I see people say, like, he hasn't beat his best win is a washed-up Masvidal. Well, you can say a washed-up Masvidal, but, you know, a Masvidal who come off losses to Usman. You know, so him losing twice to the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world at the time makes him washed up. I don't know if that's true.
Was Woodley really washed up when he fought him? Or was he just off the back of the title?
Yeah, Woodley started getting considered washed up when he lost to Colby.
Yeah.
And look, the guy's a savage. He took a prime Usman to the decision twice and lost in a close fight twice. So we can't, like, I hate it when people discredit people because of their skill set. Discredit people's skill set because of their personality. Which leads us on to another fight on the card. And you see it happen a lot, in all fairness, with Ian Garry.
Yeah.
I see online, you know, people are kind of discrediting his skills because of the shit that's going on in his personal life online and stuff like that. We can't deny he's a very, very good fighter with a very, very, very good skill set. So the same thing can be said for Colby. I think just because you don't like who he is doesn't mean I see people posting like technique breakdowns of his striking on Twitter, and it's like, he's not going to strike with Leon, is he going to try and take him down and maul him? But ultimately, I think Leon's that good. I don't think anyone in that division can touch him, to be honest, at the minute. The closest, or the biggest threat to him, in my opinion, is probably Shavkat. But other than that, I think he beat Shavkat. But other than that, I don't think he's going to have any real issues with anyone in the division. I think skillfully, he's so good on the feet. His defensive wrestling is really good. He's black belt level grappling. He's big for the weight. He's powerful for the weight. For me, he's the best striker in the UFC, or one of anyway. You know, obviously you got your Pereiras and your Adesanya's, but he's right up there with him, in my opinion. For a guy that doesn't come from a glory kickboxing or a pro boxing background, a guy who's just been an MMA fighter all his life, his striking is unbelievable. It's so smooth, fast, crisp. You know, I don't see Colby having any answers for him. I think Colby will make a fight of it. I don't think it'll be a one-sided whitewash. I think Colby will make a fight of it. You know, he's fit, he's tough, but I think ultimately Leon will end up catching him with something and putting him away, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. But I do think, like you say, Colby will make a fight of it, purely because he isn't getting another one of these. This is it now, isn't it? Because with no offence to him, he's probably earned it over the years, but he's been half gifted this one because they know it's going to bring loads of views.
Yeah, 100% he's been gifted the title. I mean, he hasn't fought since March 22, has he?
No.
So there's guys like Bilal Muhammad and Shavkat and I know Gilbert's coming off a loss, but Gilbert Burns, these are guys who are fighting regularly. And, you know, Bilal probably deserved a title shot, didn't he, over Colby, if we're being honest. But he brings views. He's got like that Donald Trump connection, which is always going to bring a lot of viewers. He sells the pay-per-view, which is what the UFC wants. And look, like you said, fighting is only half the battle sometimes. You've got to be able to sell a little bit. And Colby probably does a better job at selling. I think Leon's rubbing his hands together probably when he sat down and thinks about it, because he sells a pay-per-view better than anyone.
He's got an easier fight, probably.
It's probably an easier fight. It's going to have more viewers. So it's going to make him, in hindsight, more money.
Definitely makes loads of sense, doesn't it? Like, because Bilal, although he's a great fighter, like, definitely no casual knows him, do they?
No. And I think Bilal's got the potential to be like a very good heel, because he's kind of leaning into it now, isn't he? He's leaning into... When he beat Sean Brady, he was shouting Philadelphia sucks. And... he's leaned in, like, he gets so much shit on Twitter. I like Bilal. Me and him, I wouldn't say we're friendly, but we've chatted online and stuff. And he's leaning into that heel character now. He kind of just needs like that viral fight, and that big fight that's going to blow him up to the casual fan a little bit. Like, he doesn't swear, he won't swear. He's actually a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. But I suppose if people are going to hate on him, you might as well lean into it. But yeah, I think he'll be next. He's got to be next. I don't know. Shavkat's fighting Wonderboy, so I'm assuming Bilal's got to be next, and they'll one of them two will probably fight Gilbert Burns, maybe. I don't know. It's Ian Garry wins. He could be in the mix just because of the background story of him and Leon. But should we jump into that? Because I think that's so. Probably why people are watching the video.
Yeah, mate, that's just been a crazy couple of weeks for Ian Garry, isn't it? How do you think you would cope with it if it was you? I
think it's going to be tough for him this week, because he's gone from being relatively well liked. I think he had a big following online. He had lots of engagement on his posts and stuff. Obviously, the Irish side of it, being having that Conor McGregor relation, kind of is always gonna give you that little push. But I think he's kind of gone from that to, well, the press conference is gonna be a fucking nightmare for him.
I know. I can't wait for it.
The crowd's gonna, and like, not just the press conference. The crowd on the night are going to be on his back. But like, look at the press conference. He's going to have... There's plenty of people there who are going to be ready to take shots at him. Obviously, he's got the run-in with Leon. So don't be... Like, the media are going to ask Leon about Ian Garry. So, and Leon's not going to hold his tongue. Colby's going to do Colby. If they ask Paddy about him, I can't imagine... Because him and Paddy have had words online.
Paddy was talking about him getting knocked out.
Yeah, the only guy... not probably going to try and smoke him. It's probably going to be his opponent.
Doesn't need to at this point.
Shavkat is up on the stage. There's rumours flying about that Shavkat knocked him out in sparring. We don't know if that's true. I seen Brendan Allen, who trains at Killcliff, talking about he won't mention a certain person's name because he knocked him out in sparring. A lot of people kind of just assumed it was Shavkat. Obviously, there's other welterweights in the gym. Gilbert Burns, Usman's in the gym all the time. You got Bellator guys there, whatever. But...
That happens though, doesn't it? Like in the gym, or is that like quite rare?
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know. I mean, it depends. I don't know what their gym is like behind closed door. I mean, no one's getting chinned in our sessions in the gym. And I think that's just because we kind of go, though, our setup's a little bit different. Like, we're a gym where we're a bit of a family vibe, and we are a team. Like we're kind of being in our gyms, like playing for the same football team. We're all there to ultimately make each other better and kind of improve each other as a team unit rather than as an individual sport. We got a team unit, whereas I think some of these bigger gyms, obviously guys go there to do their camp. You have guys dropping in for 4 weeks at a time, 2 weeks at a time. And then I can imagine the sparring days become a little bit more, well, I might fight you in a couple of months' time, so I'm not going to let you have the better of me. If you catch me, I'm going to catch you back. And maybe he didn't get knocked out. I don't know. Maybe it's just people saying stuff. But a couple of people from that gym have said about it, kind of hinting towards it being Shavkat. But who knows? I guess you probably would have had to been. I think he'll come out eventually.
Yeah.
I think if they did knock him out, whoever is claiming now will ultimately come out. And I think Ian will probably speak on it this week and allude to whether it was true or not. But yeah, he's got a tough week in front of him. I think he's had a lot of people on his. He's gonna have a lot of people on his back. I mean, he's gonna go from being cheered because he was a big fan favorite when he walks out to everyone. And I know people say, "Oh, it doesn't affect me. I don't give a fuck about the crowd," but you do. You do. It's never easy to go from. Imagine going from walking out and everyone's loving you, and then the next fight everyone is giving you shit. You know what I mean?
Because he's blatantly like attention whore, and he loves it, doesn't he? He lives for it. You can see that by all the videos he makes. He's done a great job of like promoting himself.
Yeah, he's very smart. He got a good media team around him. Like you said, he's constantly documenting everything. It's a mad one because he's had so many run-ins, haven't he? Like you got the Leon Edwards thing now. Like he was kind of beefing with Leon a little bit and saying about they kicked him out the gym because of Leon's insecurities and stuff like that. And then
Strickland. Yeah,
but even the Leon thing, Leon's not the type to just sit. Like Leon have come out now and said like what insecurities. Like Leon done an interview this week and it was a bit of a sly dig, I think. Because he's not his style, is it, Leon, to come out and talk shit, but he was kind of like, they asked him about potentially fighting Garry, and he's like, look, I've sparred of him, and skill-wise, he's not a guy I'm even concerned with at the minute. He's like, let's see how he gets on in his next fight and go from there. So, like, that's a little sly dig to say, like, you know, I had the better of the sparring, which, like, no shame in that, the guy's number one in the world, but, you know, you've had that, you've had Sean Strickland's been giving him hell over his missus. Obviously, his missus done the book that everyone's talking about. I
thought someone had made that cover like on Instagram or something just for a laugh until I realised it was real. I was like, fucking hell.
And I think the book is obviously like a bit of a parody thing, isn't it? I don't think she's actually made a book to try and like show people out to like professional athletes.
I don't know. We'll have to read it. Like,
yeah, we'll have to give it a read. It's not even I'm hearing obviously like I don't want to sound too invested in it, but everyone's talking about it in the end. Apparently it's just like a 12-minute audio book. So what I will say is this, you know, she did get with Garry when he was in Cage Warriors, and you know, perhaps she was looking at the long term if that was her plan, but like obviously he's not making millions and millions. It's not like she's got a pro footballer, but look, you have got a little bit, like sometimes though, it's almost as if you're gonna live in that world of like constantly putting out content and constantly like talking about sparring and jumping around all these gyms, he was obviously going to go up in the air at some point, wouldn't he? You know, like, you can't constantly... It's like, look at people like Jake Paul and Logan Paul. You can't constantly be in that media space without having a bit of backlash every now and then. I think what has kind of gone against him is that you look... Like, what people are using the examples of, like, he put Jeff Neal's mugshot on a T-shirt and sold it to promote a fight. He accused Neil Magny of beating his child when it was kind of a throwaway comment of, you know, I'm just gonna whoop you like a dad of whoop his kid kind
like
of
I could
thing.
sort of thing.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone kind of thought from that comment that Magny's a child beater by any means. So obviously he's and you know, it's fair game, all's fair in love and war. I'm not knocking him for doing it. This is how people promote fights. He's like we say, he's very smart. Putting the mugshot on the T-shirt and doing it is a good way to build a fight.
Yeah, you just got to be able to take it.
But then obviously when it comes back a little bit and people are saying what they're saying, whether it be about you, whether it be about your missus, you know, you've got to be able to take it. Like, you know...
We don't know, though, at this point, if he can or not, do we? Because he's been so quiet. I don't know if that's a really good play.
Yeah.
Or if he's going to come out and be an absolute wreck at the press conference.
Yeah, he's played a bit of a blinder in a way, though, I think, by making the accounts private, turning off the comments, because no one can really get at him now. But then obviously he's going to have his media and his press conference this week. And what's going to happen now? So, like, because he's not putting a lot on social media, everyone is busting for those interviews that drop now this week so they can tune in and be like, what's he got to say about it? Do you know what I'm saying? So, it's a smart... It's smart
it could be
of
a
him
best
again.
move. Like, yeah,
it's smart. It is smart of him. Like, I don't know if it's his missus or he got a media team or what, but they're very smart in what they're doing. But like we said, you've got to be able to take it. Like, you know, his idol's Conor McGregor, and how did Conor McGregor promote the Dustin Poirier fight? Your wife's in my DMs and all that. And it's like, well, look, and I suppose it is all like, if you're gonna say shit's always gonna come back. That's just life in general, not just fighting. But if you're gonna fucking fire stuff out there, you're gonna have a bit of rubbish come back at you. So
I think that's the difference between Conor McGregor and everyone else, though.
Yeah,
because he does not give a fuck what anyone says about him, does he?
He doesn't give a fuck. But look, all that aside, let's not forget that Garry can fucking fight.
Yeah, everyone's forgetting about the fight.
He's 11-0 or 12-0, 13-0. He's number 10 ranked, is he, or 9? He's unbeaten in the UFC, coming off a massive win against Neil Magny. Made Neil Magny look like you know, your average Joe, and he's not. I mean, Neil Magny's got the most wins in the welterweight division. So Garry can fight. He's got a very, very good skill set. We haven't seen him face too much adversity yet in terms of grappling, wrestling. So we don't know how good he is there, but I can imagine to be in the UFC, you've got to be half decent everywhere. So I'd expect Luke to come and grapple, if I'm honest. Look, they've obviously sparred together a lot at Killcliff, and they've obviously seen something in each other for them to take the fight. Because they're teammates. You could quite easily say, I'm not fighting him, he's my teammate. Garry has seen something in Luke that he thinks he can capitalise on, and I think Luke has probably seen something in Garry. If I had to guess, I'd say Garry probably had the better of the striking. Luke has probably had the better of the grappling. If I had to guess.
Yeah. Neither of them's going to sign the contract for a teammate to want to lose.
No, you're not going to sign a contract to fight a teammate if you haven't had the better of them in sparring. So that should tell you all you need to know. Look, I don't really care about the fight, to be honest. I'm just more interested in the press conference.
When will it be? Tomorrow?
Thursday, yeah, tomorrow.
God, we should have done a live reaction to that or something. It would have been class.
So yeah, he's had a run-in with Strickland as well. Strickland's been on his case. Apparently had a run-in at the PI. And I'd be interested to see if there's bound to be camera footage of that.
Gotta be in there.
There's gotta be. And look, Strickland lives in Vegas, so Strickland will be lingering about the PI all week. So I've just been noticing it's Tuesday. No, what are we on today? Wednesday. It's been quiet this week, social media. I've been expecting a lot more drama on it. There hasn't been a lot. But I guess we'll see. You know, the press conference isn't to be missed. The media day isn't to be missed. I think, you know, when they do the interviews media day, I'm looking forward to what everyone's got to say on that. And look, again, like love it or hate it, Ian Garry's probably the most talked about fighter on this card. Yeah. And he's not even in the co-main spot. So
no. Sorry, go on.
Is it a marketing ploy? Maybe. Either way, it has kind of worked for him, hasn't it? But he's going to receive a lot of backlash from it, I think. And win, lose or draw, I mean, the crowd is... The pressure's on, but the crowd's going to be on him as well. And it adds to the pressure, doesn't it? Like, but he seems like the type of guy, to be fair, that likes that kind of pressure. And we'll see what happens. Luke is no easy fight either. Like, Luke is not gonna come in there like the last couple of guys he's fought. He's going to come in the game to win, you know? So we'll see what happens, I guess.
Definitely. So, like, moving on to the next fight, it's kind of mad, like Paddy and Tony, how under the radar they've gone in the last 2 or 3 weeks because of the Garry thing. Because, like, a month ago, everyone was talking Paddy, Tony, who's going to win? Is it going to be, like, the passing of the guard sort of thing? But, yeah, crazy. Yeah,
I'll buy the baddie's back. And you like the... It shows how big a star Paddy is because he's 4-0 in the UFC, I think.
Yeah.
He's 4-0 in the UFC. Number one, he's on the main card of probably one of the biggest cards of the year. And number two, like you see, he's featured in the embeddeds and stuff. You don't usually, like when you got a card this stacked, you don't usually see that. You've got 2 title fights. You've got Ian Garry and thing. You've got Shavkat and Wonderboy, who's like a potential number 1 contender fight. Paddy and Tony's kind of a nothing fight, realistically, but Paddy's all over the embeddeds. That's how big a star he is. And like I always say it, don't we? MMA is funner and UFC is better to watch for me, I think. More interesting when Paddy's involved because you're just waiting to see what he does next. And like you got to remember, he's been pent up for a year. So if you think he's not going to get on the mic and rip an absolute savage belt of a promo, if he finishes Tony Ferguson, right, guarantee you he's got some fucking nuts planned for that post fight.
Oh, 100%, mate. And like even before that, I can't wait to see him in the press conference.
Yeah, he'd be brilliant.
All them lined up on that table is going to be a hell of a laugh.
It's going to be a brilliant press conference. It's going to be one of the few press conferences where Colby and Leon are probably not going to get that much. Like the you know what it's like. You do the press conferences, don't you? And the main event gets probably 80% of the questions. Whereas this one, it's going to be because they're going to be asking Leon about Ian Garry, Ian Garry about Leon. They're going to be asking Shavkat, did you knock Ian Garry out in sparring? They're going to be asking Paddy about Ian Garry. They're going to be asking Ian Garry about his wife and the online shit. Then they're going to be asking Colby about Ian Garry and Ian Garry about Strickland. It's just going to be all over the fucking shop. I can't wait for it.
It's going to be mad. So they proper stacked this card because they didn't need to have half these fights on here. With Leon and Colby at the top, they only needed maybe like Paddy and Tony. They didn't need Garry and Luke. They didn't need the other title fight. So like this is a proper good way to round off the year pay-per-view wise.
Yeah, it's a massive card. Like card of the year, probably. I'm trying to think what other ones we've had. I think the Abu Dhabi card was a big one, wasn't it? Obviously we had the MSG card, but
Is Emmett fighting Hall on this one as well? Or was that next week? Because someone pulled out against Emmett, didn't he? Giga.
That might be. I think
Is that this weekend as well?
I may have a look on the undercard, but it's a mental, like, in terms of like you said, they usually stack the main, the co-main, and might put like a good feature bout, and that's kind of it. Then they fill the card then with localish guys. But this one, what are we, 297?
Yeah, it's like
296.
296. Yeah,
Let's
it's top to bottom. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I seen Bryce Hall on Michael Bisping's podcast yesterday.
Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce Hall.
That's
That's
a
the YouTuber, isn't it?
Yeah, so Josh Emmett and Bryce Mitchell are the feature bout on the preview. Cody Garbrandt is fighting Brian Kelleher.
That's completely flown under the radar.
Casey O'Neill against Ariana Lipsky. They are two well-known women flyweights. Who's on the early prelims? Anyone we know? One of Khabib's guys is on there. Tagia versus Cody. Andre Feely's on there as well.
Yeah,
and Randy Brown. You know, it's a stacked card.
Yeah.
The entire card's massive.
It's like Feely's like a kind of feature bout on a smaller fight night.
Yeah,
or something,
100%. Look, it's a massive card. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the press con. I can't wait, like, the embedded. I'm waiting like a kid at Christmas for the embedded. You know, the embedded come out every night, but we haven't had no real drama yet. But you know it's coming. Like, it's Wednesday today, so people are going to start getting a bit more irritable. The lack of carbs and the load is going to start kicking in, and you wait and see. I think I'd be very surprised. Well, I haven't even seen Ian Garry on the embedded yet, so I'm wondering, as he kind of said, I don't know if you can even say. I don't know if that's a thing that you can say, oh, I'm not going on there. I think it's in your contract. So I'm interested to see what we get from the behind the scenes stuff this week. You know, Paddy's going to have his camera guy. Ian's going to have his camera guy. Leon's going to have a camera crew with him. Colby's just going to be doing Colby all week.
Predictions wise, who have you got? Like, obviously Leon versus Colby, you said, but like Gary, Luque, Paddy, Tony.
So we already mentioned the co-main. I mean, the flyweight title. You got Brandon Royval against Pantoja. I'd love to see Brandon Royval do it. I think he's one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. Like, he's one of those, he could be losing a fight and pulls out some fucking mad sub. So I'd like to see him do it.
Do you see him dropping a 10-miler on fight week?
Just his pace?
Yeah.
6.5 minute.
He
done 10 miles, which is 16 kilometers for those in the UK, because I know everyone runs kilometers. So that's 16 kilometers. He ran an hour and 5 minutes. So that I literally Googled it. He's run 10 miles, so he's run 16k at a 4-minute kilometer pace. That's like that's serious.
That's going something.
That's flyweight pace, that's insane. And he wasn't even he's laughing and joking. He wasn't even breathing heavy. But so we got him. Feature bout what's under that? Is that Rachmanov or is it Paddy?
I think it's Paddy.
No, it's Shavkat and Wonderboy.
I haven't really even talked about that.
No, I know, yeah, we got to touch on that one. It's hard to bet against Shavkat. I think he is the real deal. He's 17-0. I think he's just 17 finishes, which speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But he's never fought someone of Wonderboy's caliber. I'd be interested to see where he wrestles. He's a very good striker, Shavkat, but, you know, if you're going to play a pure striking game with Wonderboy, it can end up being a long night for you. So I'd probably go Shavkat on that one, a decision win. I think Wonderboy's tough to finish. He is getting up there in age a little bit now, but who doesn't love Wonderboy?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Shavkat's going to take that one. We got next Paddy, Tony.
Paddy and Tony. I think Paddy does it, I gotta be honest.
I think we're going to see the best version of Paddy because he's had this time and he's had to soak in that Jared Gordon win sort of fight. There's a bit 50-50. So him coming into this one to fight Tony, I think he's really going to be...
he's got a lot to prove, haven't he, after that last fight, Paddy. I wouldn't have called the last fight a robbery as such. It was close. It probably could have gone either way. You know, when people were screaming riot, because I remember watching up and I'd seen the fucking result, the old classic, before I watched the fight. And I thought, they done Gordon dirty over there. And I watched the fight and I was like, that wasn't a robbery. Could have gone either way, but...
I think it's because you expect
I think that's what it is. But look, he's going to come in and either be in his bond. He said, hasn't fought for a year, knows he's got a lot riding on it. Tony is up there now. You know, he's 6-fight losing streak. Don't be wrong, albeit to elite level guys. But I just think Paddy's a very, very fast starter. And I think Tony, even in his heyday, used to take a little bit of time to settle into the fight. I just think people don't realise how good Paddy's grappling is. Paddy's got a real good level grappling. So I think if he gets Tony down early on, I think he subs him, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised to see a first or second round submission for Paddy. Am I being biased because he's kind of my friend? Yeah, but that's generally how I see it going. Like, don't get me wrong, a prime Tony Ferguson is a different kettle of fish. But we're not dealing with a prime Tony Ferguson, are we?
No, I agree, mate. I think we're probably going to agree on a lot of these down the list, to be honest, because it feels like everything's a little bit one-sided. But that's what's so interesting, because you just never know on the night if it's going to flip.
No. Probably the closest fight is Luke versus Garry.
Yeah.
I do think Garry will do it. I think he'd be too good at range. I think, although Luke's probably got the grappling edge, I don't think he's not that he's not a good wrestler. Obviously, he's fucking top to, but I don't think he's got like that wrestle heavy style where he's gonna come and grind him like a Colby would, or like a I don't know, like a Tyrone Woodley back in the day. I don't think he's gonna come and look to do, or Gilbert Burns. If Gilbert Burns is going in there against someone like Shavkat or someone like Ian, he's gonna come and push the pace, look for the takedown. So although I think Luke has got a grappling advantage, I think Garry will just be too good at range. He'll be too good at keeping him at range. But look, Luke can bang as well. So Gary's got to mind his P's and Q's. He's got to make sure everything's on point. I think that'll be the closest fight tonight. If it does go to the deck, you'd favour Luke. He's got a good submission game. But I think ultimately Garry will probably do it. Points victory, I think. I don't know if he'll take him out.
I'm going to flip on that one. I'm going to say Luke, just because I reckon he may not. He may absolutely fry through it, but I'm just going to say the pressure and everything's too much.
You think it's got to him?
Maybe. But yeah. I don't know, because obviously the press conference may will change then. But
yeah, I think we'll have a better idea when we're at the press conference, whether he's going to lean into it and go full heel, whether he's going to play victim a little bit. He's going to have to defend himself at some point, because he's going to be coming from all angles. Like I know on social media you can kind of blank it out, can't you, and not go on your phone and log out your accounts. But obviously when you're there at a press conference and every single person or every other question is about you, you've got to stick up for yourself a little bit there. So I'll be interested to see. Undercard, we won't go predictions on that, but yeah, stat undercard. Looking forward to it. Ultimately, though, we could potentially look at if Ian Garry does have a big win, could we be looking at Ian Garry versus Leon Edwards next?
I think he could jump the queue.
I think he could jump the queue.
Depending what happens at the press conference.
Or at the very worst, I think we could see an Ian Garry versus Shavkat, or an Ian Garry versus Bilal.
Or Colby if he loses. Something up there.
I think Leon Edwards wins. I don't think we see Colby. If Colby loses and he gets finished, I don't think we see him fight again. I think that'll be him done. I think we see Ian Garry versus Shavkat in a number one contender fight. I think we see Bilal fight for the belt then early part of next year. And then I think that's how we see it play out. But there's a lot of like toss-ups in this one. You don't know. Lot on the line for each fight, really. Imagine Wonderboy, because Wonderboy could pull it off, and then that throws a spanner in the works. And you probably see Wonderboy against Bilal, or Wonderboy against Ian Garry.
That would be a great fight to watch, I reckon. Wonderboy, Ian Garry.
Yeah, it would. I mean, they're friendly, but Ian's come out and he said he's obviously prepared to fight friends and teammates, which is half of the reason I think why Leon and that they kind of got rid of him. Look, we'll wait and see how it plays out. We'll hopefully jump on next week for a reaction. I'm sure there'll be plenty to unpack. Cards like these, they don't ever disappoint, do they?
There's going to be 2-3 big fights in there.
You look at the names on the card. There's no way that they can be. That it's going to be a boring card. So we look forward to it. Let us know your predictions in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on the Ian Garry saga, the Leon Edwards saga. And we'll jump back on next week. Before we do our Christmas episode, to see how it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Happy days. Nice one. Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe.